You know what that means. Round of shots. My man James Strebel. James, you're on mute, bro. You see that? You on mute? This happened to us a week or so, a few weeks ago. I see you on mute. Kick yourself out. Come back in. I'm assuming you can hear me. Unlike starting a live show off with technical difficulties. But here we are. Round of shots on this Monday night. March 29th, 2021. Bring it back, James. We're going to talk March Madness 2021, Kentucky football, Kentucky basketball. We've got some very cool guests, some of our buddies. There you are.
I'm back. Am I good?
You are. Yeah.
Right. That was weird.
Can you hear me during that time? It literally, I can see, for me, I see the mute button or mute image, so whatever the fuck that is, next to your name.
Well, we're normal now, so that's all that matters.
Normal.
Well,
let's keep it weird,
operational,
like we do. Let's keep it weird.
Yes, but we're operational. Everything's functioning and working, so I think we're okay.
You been all right?
I mean, good. Yeah, absolutely. Still doing the take Monday through Friday, ESPN 680, 105.7. Andy Sweeney, Mitchell Hannigan, 267-9680 if you want to call in and talk about the IU basketball hire.
Oh, we got to talk about that as well. I mean, it's funny, James, is as much as, with us being Kentucky fans, Kentucky basketball fans, and not having our say during the NCAA tournament, we, some of us, I'll speak for me, I thought it was going to kind of be a blah. But there's been some interesting, narratives to this tournament.
No, I've had a blast watching, man. I mean, I watched just about every minute last weekend. I kind of slacked off yesterday because I went to a buddy's house and hung out, and I got home and watched the last game, USC versus Oregon. But I've watched the majority of the tournament, and I've been highly entertained. Before we came on here, I was watching Oregon State and Houston, and like you said, interesting narratives. Kelvin Sampson, possibly going to a Final Four after being, kicked out of IU for text messaging, which is like totally legal now. Like you think about what he got fired over back then, and it's nothing compared to what's going on today. So I'm glad to see Kelvin Sampson possibly, going to a Final Four. And then you have a team like Oregon State. Like, who the hell knew Oregon State had a basketball team? I'm kidding, obviously, but I mean they're playing the Elite Eight right now. I mean, or the Beavers. So
keep saying that. That brings puts a smile on my face. All right, first half of the show, our friend Anna Tarullo, who is back in the state.
She is
back in the saddle again, and so she's going to hang with us. We're going to talk her new gig. Get to see how her blue eyes match her blue background, James. It's kind of weird, when she starts.
It's a flaming background, a lot of fire,
and then
reminds me of Game of Thrones.
Speaking of fire,
dragon,
we got two of our friends, Max Godby and Justin Jeffries, back on during the second half. So, without further ado, look at her. She is.
Hey,
what's up, AMT?
What's up? Just watching the end of this UConn Baylor game. It's down to the wire.
Yeah, that's a lot of people talking about that more so than the men's game, the UConn Baylor. So who's winning right now?
So UConn is up 1. They've gone on it was 19-0 for a while run to be ahead. There's 17 seconds left. UConn's up 1. They just went I think 0 for 2 at the line for free throws, and it's Baylor's ball. Now, 17 seconds left, so we'll see. Paige Beckers has put up like a 30-piece. She's unbelievable. Yeah, she's awesome. I love watching her.
You're in sportscast mode right now.
I know, like stats. What do you want to
know? Well, it's funny, James. When we took last Monday off, this Monday when I scheduled to do the show tonight, honestly, at the time I scheduled, I totally forgot about the Elite Eight happening on Monday and Tuesday, tomorrow night.
No kidding, it's weird.
The women have been doing this. This is kind of their thing because they're kind of a day off from the men. But this whole thing, man, just everything about it has just been crazy. To start off, James, did we lose you?
Yeah. James, where are you?
He'll come back. And to just start off, let's before we talk March Madness, Kentucky sports. Let's talk about you. I want to say the last time we talked, we had you on.
Mm-hmm. Oh, James is back.
James, stop messing around. What are you doing over there?
I don't know what happened. The internet just like went out. It's bizarre. I'm not doing anything. I swear to God.
Take your fingers away from whatever. Okay, all right.
Good. Jazz
So,
hands.
Anna, James, we want to again welcome Anna back to the state. Congratulations!
Yeah. On the new gig, BBN tonight.
Nice dream.
How did this all come about?
Okay, so you guys, I feel like the luckiest person in the world. The sports industry, is super tough right now. So many layoffs, so many people without jobs. It's hard to get a job. So I'm working my job in West Virginia, coming back from my crazy fall, all of that stuff that happened. And Keith Farmer, who's the man, he messaged me on Twitter and said, hey, you know what? We're going to have this opening on BBN tonight, co-hosting. Would you be interested? And I think Keith had just saw my tweets about Kentucky. I'm a bit of a loose cannon on Twitter. And so I think he had seen that and just, that I love the Cats, always tweeting about the Cats, et cetera, et cetera. So I said, okay, cool. I applied and didn't really think much of it, but I don't know. I just feel so lucky they approached me about it. I came for an interview, did a little audition with Keith, and the team on BBN tonight is so awesome. When I came for my interview, I was like, I hope this is mutual, but I love you all, and I feel like I fit in. Everyone at the station is great. So it just, I don't know. It was one of those things where it just all happened so seamlessly, and I think personality-wise, it's a really good fit with the team. I'm so happy to be here. It's been one of the best experiences of my career so far, just getting to cover what I want to cover, what I love. And I can't say enough about the people. They're on their game, professional, easy to work with. And I just feel really lucky.
Are you still in your work outfit?
No, I'm in my Kentucky sweatshirt.
All right, because in Kentucky is what I'm going. Well, this gig started for you, what, in late February?
Yeah, so that's when it was announced. And then my first day on air, it was a week ago. It was last Monday. James is leaving again. He doesn't want to know
he can't once he takes his hands out of the picture. Yeah.
But yeah, so I've been on a week and it's been really good. It's a blast getting to talk to UK coaches, and I had no idea a position like this could even exist. I'm thrilled that I get to do it. I'm like, I can't even believe it. I'm pinching myself because it's so different than most positions in local news and sports that I feel like I'm robbing a bank here. I'm like, you want me to do what? You're paying me to do this? That's so cool.
So when you're in West Virginia, you were covering a lot of Marshall football, and look, like I know it's awesome to cover college gigs and whatever, but is it difficult to because I know your heart's with Kentucky and Georgia as well, because I know that's your alma mater.
Yeah.
Is it difficult to kind of manufacture feelings for a team that you're not emotionally connected to?
Kind of. I don't know. The conversation is going on around you, like with Marshall and stuff. So everybody was talking about it. So that was kind of easy to be in that. And I still feel like I'm still part of the conversation a little bit with West Virginia and stuff, just because I've been part of it for so long. 2 years. But I will say there's nothing that rolls off the tongue easier than talking about Kentucky. Even when I was at UGA, even being a UGA grad, when Keith and I sat down and did our interview together about, my new role and all this stuff, we finished and I was just like, oh my gosh, it's just so easy to talk about. I would talk about this anyway. And when the passion and interest is there, I think it makes for more exciting TV. But it was fun covering Marshall. It was different because it's a little bit of a different program. Of course, at Conference USA, and it's just Marshall's a great community. But West Virginia, I covered a lot of high school sports and stuff too, and still got to cover the Cats some too. I made sure to get a lot of Kentucky stuff in there.
Oh, nice. Good for you.
Yeah.
This is where, I don't know, would this be an instance, James, where, Anna, her relationship status is with Kentucky sports, and then, West Virginia and Marshall, she had to break the news. I just want to be friends, guys.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I still went on a podcast with all the West Virginia basketball guys during one of their tournament games. And, I was like, I don't know. They know I'm a Cats fan. I think they just had me on to play games. But I don't know. It was all good fun. It was fun because there's so many Kentucky fans in that area that I like really embrace the identity of being hated. For Georgia, yeah, I do. I love it.
Did they really dislike Kentucky fans in West Virginia?
No, I think it was the one thing they brought up that absolutely killed me. They always brought up that 2010 year, and I'm just like,
oh yeah,
you guys, I don't want to talk about it. But I don't know. I kind of like having the target on my back. People in the newsroom, of course, this year it was rough, with some of the basketball losses. But
no kidding.
I don't know. Yeah, it was kind of cool because there were a lot of Kentucky fans in West Virginia, which is cool.
Being in West Virginia, and you were there for, I guess, probably really most of the Kentucky men's basketball stretch, this year's stretch. What was, and you know how passionate BBN is.
Oh yeah.
They're the smartest. We have the smartest fans on the planet, James. You know that. Yeah.
Well, of course.
Yeah. But what was that? What was your take on how BBN was reacting to Cal and this team? From the outside looking in. I mean, I know you're still kind of in, but you're there, and
Yeah, for me, it's tough. Like with perspective, I just think you can watch what's happening in the results of a team, but there's always something going on that you don't know about. As a journalist, covering sports, there's something going on there that we weren't privy to. So that was tough. I think seeing everyone's opinion on Twitter, and this is who the lineup should be, and this is what his rotation should be. There's reasons he's not doing it, but all in all, I think it was such a weird year too because of the pandemic and everything. Just they weren't together in the summer or the fall. I think that BBN didn't come down on him as maybe in a different year, but I'm not sure. It was just so strange. I felt like we were living in like a dream. It was a surreal moment that that was their record. There wasn't too much public outrage, I don't think.
Well, I could see it being tough because, like most Kentucky fans, I'll speak for myself here. Like anytime I go somewhere out of the state or, somewhere to visit my wife's family or on vacation or whatever, I wear my BBN gear. I'm that guy. I'm that guy. Mm-hmm. And I wear it as a sense of identity. And this year was really tough. Like I didn't go anywhere because obviously we're in the middle of a pandemic, so I didn't travel anywhere. But I can't imagine how it would have felt if I'm walking, downtown Chicago or like in an apron in Chicago and I'm wearing my Kentucky hat and people are like, look at that dork. That team stinks. Yeah, exactly. Like normally they're like, oh, Kentucky. Oh, they're fantastic. They're great. And this year it was more like a punchline. So I don't envy you having to battle maybe West Virginia fans or West Virginia natives saying, hey, Kentucky, really? You're a Kentucky fan this season?
The tradition in Kentucky, it's like, okay, even if this was an off year, it's still badass that you're, as of now, the winningest program. Hopefully we can keep that and stretch that lead a little bit. But, despite it being a bad year, when you wear BBN stuff, when you wear UK stuff, it's still like a different type. You're just repping such a history of excellence. It's like, who cares about this year? We've been better than you any other year type thing.
Right. Sure. Absolutely.
On that note, let's, because we're all Kentucky fans here. Since that 2015 team, guys, the last Final Four, fair to say Kentucky basketball has been trending down.
I'll let you answer that first, Anna.
Yeah, that year was so that was my senior year in college, and I don't know. It was like the magic almost got taken from
senior year in college. Wow, throw that in our face.
With that much talent to not be able to win, I just think it was almost a turning point in like, okay, the one and done stuff. You win, when you get Anthony Davis and recruits like that in 2012, you can win with talent alone. But when everybody starts doing that, and when you have that much talent, you have like 2 NBA rosters, and you lose to, that Bo Ryan coached team. It's almost like Cal got a little bit. You know what I mean? It's like he kind of got shown I don't know. It can't always be about the talent. You got to be like a more in-depth coach than that. But I would agree that it's been trending down a little bit.
I'm glad you said that too.
Yeah.
Am I wrong, James?
No,
No.
you're not. No, I'm
Okay.
agreeing. No,
Yeah.
I'm glad Anna said it too because
Yeah.
I mean, you all can go look at my Twitter tonight. I've been battling Louisville fans, and that's kind of what I do on a constant basis. And it's difficult to do right now because one thing we've always been able to hold over just about every program's head outside of Duke is like we got these badass recruits coming in, like you mentioned, Anna, Anthony Davis or Carl Anthony Towns or Darren Foster or whomever. And the landscape of college basketball has changed so dramatically in such a short period of time that, you know, Calipari's got to figure something out. And he has to recalibrate what the program is and what he wants the identity of the program to be. And it's not going to be easy. I mean, I think we're going to have to get to a point to where we're used to not getting the top 10 type recruits at the rate that we were getting them. And that's difficult, especially since that's our brand. Like that's what we've been able to brag about for the last 12 years. Like, hey, you know what? Last season we may have lost in the Elite Eight, but we've got number 1, number 4, and number 9 in the recruiting class coming in to play for us next season. So, you know, keep talking that junk because next year we're coming at you. And today, I mean, I'm not here to knock the kid, but they got a recruit from Davidson, a transfer from Davidson. His name's Kellen Grady, and he averages 17 points, 47% from the field, 38% from the 3-point line, which what we need, but doesn't have the same cachets when you say, yeah, we just got a commitment from Malik Monk. You know what I mean? So that it's definitely an adjustment period, not only for Kentucky basketball, but as fans as well.
In the last year or so, James, you know, when you're throwing these elite names, these elite recruits, their names on talk shows, on podcasts,
Sure.
that don't mean shit anymore. I mean, because they haven't delivered. I mean,
it's a good point.
So my thing is that the one and done narrative is kind of still in his bag. It's just gone from one extreme to the other. You know,
it's like the playing field has been leveled. You know,
yeah, to get these graduate, you know, yeah, I honestly don't know anything about the Davidson kid. I mean, obviously they're showing all these great highlights, and his jumper looks pretty smooth and accurate.
I hope it is.
Yeah, you know, but he's got experience too, and I don't know. This whole season, man, was if there was a such thing as a do-over button. I guess what was alarming too, guys, is that Cal could never figure it out. We always trust that he will eventually
figure out how to use it.
I don't know. Very, very frustrating. But you know, I guess every program has to have you know.
What I just want to ask Anna because she's working in Lexington now. What is and you're working with people that are around Kentucky basketball, Kentucky athletics as a whole. What is the feeling in Lexington about what happened this season with John Calipari? I mean, does he still have that kind of unwavering allegiance that he'll figure it out? Maybe not this year, but he'll be okay. Or are people kind of questioning, like, is this the beginning of the end of the Calipari era in Kentucky? Because I mean, if you're going to start polling the fan base, you have to start in Lexington, right?
Oh yeah, and I think I wouldn't say beginning of the end. I think that's, you know, after one season like that could be extreme. But I think right now among media as well as fans, it's more like accountability. It's more like answering for what that was and why that was and what's going to change. I think now it would be the beginning of the end. If next season there's no changes, something like that happens again. You know, people have talked about what changes are we going to see? Is it going to be changes on staff and changes in how he's recruiting? But I think now would be the pressure time to see. Everyone's eyes are kind of peeled for what the big transition is going to be. But I think everybody wants an answer right now, and they're giving me probably the grace to answer. But the results, I think, will need to happen next season, or the beginning of the end talk, I think, will start.
Let me. Here's a comment. This is from one of our friends, James. But this is where you know, hard to trend up from an undefeated season. This is at 2015 team but Cal has winning seasons after 2015. Yeah, he's had winning seasons.
Sure, but when the bar
progress-
set so high,
yeah.
I mean, when you
we hit fucking rock bottom this year. Man.
Not only that, I mean, I had a U of L fan bring this up to me earlier today, and it's a fair point. I mean, when you say, we don't move the needle, we are the needle.
Right.
That's calling your shot. I mean, that's basically saying we are college basketball. Well, if you're college basketball, don't win 9 freaking games. And if you are college basketball, then figure your damn team out and get something going. I mean, if you want to talk the talk and you want to boast and brag and be like the
season
big badass,
like this should never happen.
It shouldn't happen. You're right. It shouldn't happen.
I feel like that's the bottom line. Like if you don't have the talent or you didn't have players and you were that bad because you couldn't compete athletically with other teams, but when you have that much talent, there is no excuse. And I think that was the thing that people kind of became disillusioned with that 2015 year. When you have that talent, and not that there weren't NBA players on that Wisconsin team, but not at the same capacity, it's like then it's a coaching matchup. And that's where the failure is and has been this season. There's really no excuse for that. You can't put that on the kids. I feel like that happened a lot this season where it was blamed on kids or on effort. Never, that can't be.
Yeah, and the other thing too that they can't, and stop using the word pandemic or COVID with this team. If you're going to play that card with us, then that narrative is with all 300 and some schools. Now you can say, "Oh, we're so young, we needed the." You know what? There's younger teams too out there.
Yeah,
they figured it out. They won more than 9 games.
Oregon State's in the Elite 8.
Yeah,
Oregon
got
State.
it together this year.
Yeah.
Zero.
And look, and UCLA too. I mean, you look at Mick Cronin, who took over a UCLA program that wasn't really much of anything, and takes a player like Johnny Juzang from Kentucky that wasn't. Look, and I'm not putting that on Cal. Just putting that out there. I'm not putting Johnny Juzang's performance in Kentucky on John Calipari 100%. But when he goes from Kentucky to UCLA, then becomes the highest scoring player in the NCAA tournament, that turns some heads and people ask some questions like, how in the world did he not work out at Kentucky? Because he wasn't good. That's another thing. It's like there's this revisionist history. Like Johnny Juzang was like, I can't believe Johnny Juzang didn't play well at Kentucky. Well, he wasn't good at Kentucky at all. He couldn't hit a shot for most of the season. He goes to UCLA and he's freaking great. And you have to give Mick Cronin some props for that. Either figuring that out or Johnny Juzang just is more comfortable. It's one or the other. And I'm not blaming Cal, but there is a connection between not being at Kentucky, being where he is, and playing the way he's playing this season.
Well, a lot of that too, James, is that Juzang doesn't have a short leash, at UCLA.
Yeah.
And didn't as soon as he walked on campus,
Right.
Whether, Mick Cronin saw something there, but some of that too was homesick. That kind of.
Yeah, that was the main reason. He was homesick and wanted to be by next to his family. He's like apparently down the street from UCLA. So yeah.
I mean, the ocean is kind of close. Yeah,
sure.
Plus.
What about football? What's I mean, it's a great conversation right now. I love hearing all the football stories. The new OC. What's been your take? With that vibe down there with football?
Oh my gosh, just exciting. That's what we are talking about every day, that we've never seen Mark Stoops like this. Mark Stoops has never seen Mark Stoops like this. He says when we get to talk to him, he's like, I know you guys aren't used to seeing me this excited, but I am. What they say after practice and the smiles on their face and their expressions is so different. And I think, it says a lot about Liam Cohen, how he's just changed the whole mood from players to coaches. And then having Wandale Robinson in there. I mean, I hope this season delivers because the off season has just been incredibly exciting. And I hate to say it, but I think it says a lot about Eddie Gran and the feelings towards him, that there's almost like relief that he's gone, how guys are reacting in response to Liam Cohen. It's just, it feels like youth, it feels like confidence, and it just feels like a whole new page has turned. So I am excited.
Stay there for a second, Anna, because I think, James, correct me if I'm wrong, our narrative has been, when it came to Eddie Grant, is that that's another guy that kind of had a short leash. That Stoops really kind of reined him in.
Sure.
Is that? I mean, help me out, Anna. Is that?
Was
the talk or the? I mean,
I think that is valid. I agree with you on that. So that's what I'm hoping, that with Liam Cohen in there now, there's going to be a whole new
hands
leash,
off,
whole new freedom. Do what you do. Be creative, and there seems to be a trust there. So I'm hoping that that's going to be the case. Just a freedom to just mix things up, and you can see that he's already doing that. Talking about how he's going to use Chris Rodriguez differently, and I don't know. I'm excited. Hopefully, Stoops has kind of maybe learned from the past and is just taking it a whole new direction.
I mean, James sits up to say it's a good situation for Coach Liam or Cohen, to walk in with someone like Rodriguez, because everything's going to go through him, right?
Yeah, James? Not only that, but getting Wan'Dale Robinson as a transfer is a huge addition to that team.
Yeah, I don't know. And even just seeing Cohen, how he's talking to the guys in practice and they're mic'd up and stuff, and how they respond to them is so different from what we've seen. It feels, I think they respect him because of the NFL thing. And then B, I think he just has a special ability to connect with the players. And Stoops and Vince Merrill were talking about this as well. Not only can Cohen connect with the players, but with the coaches too. He's fit in just like a glove. So this could be one of the best hires and best decisions I think that they've made.
Well, Stoops needed to do this, and to his credit, he made the move. I mean, he and Eddie Gran were friends, like very, very close friends. Eddie Gran was on the take with Andy Sweeney and I a few times, and he's a good guy. Like, I have nothing bad to say about Eddie Gran, but you look at the offense and the way it has not progressed throughout the years. Stoops had to make this move, and kudos to him for making that move, and not only doing that, but also working the transfer market, getting some key transfers. Wan'Dale Robinson will leave us, the quarterback transfer for Penn State. He's not there yet, but he's supposed to be there. And then getting guys to stay. I mean, the fact that Damian Kennard stayed, Chris Rodriguez stayed, Josh Ali stayed, Josh Paschal stayed, DeAndre Square. I mean, they had a lot of guys that could have opted to go pro or transfer or whatever, stay with the team. Or Darian Kennard, I apologize for calling him Damon. Darian Kennard opted to stay with the team. That's huge. That's a good example of Mark Stoops saying, okay, look, what I did wasn't working. I need to go to a different approach. Stick with me. New offensive coordinator. Let's go. So I'm
right from Wisconsin, also huge.
Yeah, great. Yeah, good point there. He coached some badass running backs. I mean, Monty Ball, James White, to name a few. I mean, he coached some Taylor, just Jonathan Taylor, some great running backs. Wisconsin. So
that whole physical game.
He's an offensive line, and Rodriguez, Smoke. Exactly. I'm all excited about football. That's well said. Let's talk about football.
It looks like Houston they won 67-61. So
who won the women's game? And
UConn did.
UConn did win, so they advanced.
Wow.
Oh wow! All right, there we go.
Yeah, I love Gino. I'm happy.
What's your timing?
I can stay for a couple more minutes.
All right, because let me. He's a football boy. Someone bring him on. We can talk a little football while you're here.
Godby. What's going on?
How you doing?
What's going on?
Hey, fellas.
If I sound like crap, it's because my allergies are smacking me smack dab in my face. So I apologize.
So Ohio Valley, brother, man.
I'm glad to see Justin again. We text every once in a while. It's been a while since I've got my Justin Jeffries fix, so I'm glad to see him. What's up, Justin?
What's going on? How you doing, Streets? I listened today.
Right, man.
I was on the road today, so when I'm on the road, I listen all the time.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You listen to what? The
tape. ESPN 680, 1057.
There you go. It's been a while. I don't remember how to do it. I gotta get my seat.
By the way, I do the UK football post-game shows, but this season I've been double vaccinated. I'm double vaccinated. I've had COVID. I should be good. I'm going to a Justin Jeffries. I did get my second shot. Yes, I'm going to a Justin Jeffries tailgate. Come hell or high water
It's ignorant. It's
It's
full.
happening.
I'm going.
going.
Ignorance.
Yeah.
I'll get the Uber from Louisville to Lexington. I don't give a damn.
I'll ride
I'll
with
spend
you,
that
James.
money.
We'll
I'm
spend
going.
it together. I'll go with you.
Pickup. You're good.
Max Godby. What's
Look
up,
at
brother?
Max, though. Hold on. Let's talk about Max for a second. Look how
He's got the
big
dad
that is. Like,
goatee.
that's a whole different level. Like
I
I know
know.
last time. Oh my gosh, the goatee.
Yeah, well,
How's the baby?
yeah. Say that again.
How's
Sorry,
the
I got a
baby?
screaming. Well, he's screaming right now and interrupting show. So I apologize. He hasn't still learned about podcast etiquette yet. No, so I grew this out. So funny story behind it. I get
Anybody
approached
hearing
by my
feedback? Hold on a second. I'm hearing some feedback. You hear that feedback or the? Okay, somebody's got something on in the background.
I mean,
So anyway, I get. Are we good now?
I hear something. Somebody's got something on the background.
I turned my TV off.
What are you sipping on, Justin? What is that? That's what I want to know.
Don't worry about it.
You got some wine? Max, you got some wine? Everybody's got wine but me. Anna's got wine.
Tonight.
Max has
Dude.
wine. Justin has. What do you have, Justin? Is that wine?
It's a little bourbon and Diet Mountain Dew. A little bourbon.
Oh,
and
there you
Diet
go.
Mountain Dew.
There you go.
Oh my God,
Linda's got
yum.
water.
Bourbon Diet Mountain Dew. That sounds like West Virginia. That's what that sounds like.
No, it's fire. It's fire. Usually it's Diet Coke, but I'm in Owensboro, so I had to give me a little Diet Mountain, a little DMD, my DMD fix.
There you go.
Hey,
All right, guys. We've got.
a day is great to heart.
God, I'm still hearing this feedback. I think people are hearing it too. But anyway, let's try to get through this. We got Anna for a little bit longer. You guys being football, give me. We'll start with Justin. I don't know. That's actually driving me crazy. Max, what are you doing over there? I think it's
He's switching his AirPods out to headphones.
Okay, Justin, give us a football take and let
It's
James. You talk. Maybe I'm gonna turn my mic
It's
on.
not me, apparently.
I feel like I'm in like Battlestar Galactica, and I'm getting.
It's just Star Wars made of forced crap. Be with us and all this. Max. I'm still hearing it.
Then it's not me then.
Or Justin, turn your mic off real quick.
Well, how do you do that?
There we go.
Anything?
It
It's
is Justin.
So what's Justin?
What are you doing?
There's something on your end, brother. Watch your language too. You're muted, but I can still tell. Watch your Max. Give us some football. Your narrative on the off season for football. So,
Well, it's been fantastic so far. I mean, I don't see how you could set yourself up for a better offseason. I mean, you brought back a great slew of guys. The idea of being able to keep Kennard, be able to keep Josh Paschal, keep Rodriguez is something, and Luke Fortner, I mean, is beyond crazy. To pull the trigger and take a well-calculated risk with Liam Cohen as that Joe Brady-esque guy for this offense, and first time he's got to be the youngest OC since Neil Brown, and Neil Brown was the youngest OC by a lot. So
how old is Cohen? Do we know? Is he in his 20s?
To be able to have that,
Early 30s, maybe.
Really?
I think
Okay.
he's 29
He and his fiance
or
are
30.
expecting a baby. Congrats, coach.
It's the first time I've seen a coach that I have more gray hair than. So I'm like, and I'm finally getting to that age now.
At least you have hair.
Yeah, fair.
35.
35. Okay, good.
So you've got Liam Cohen, who's from everything that I've heard has been unreal. Be able to pull the trigger to pull in a transfer from Penn State. And I just love how the setup of this team is, because I think we're going to see the team that we were supposed to have last year. That breakout team, with the exception of just the having to play the SEC schedule and then the anemic dead offense that you had, that couldn't score on a Pee-wee team, but still found a way to get 5 wins out of it. I think you're finally going to see the payoff for this year. I think a lot of the guys, the reason why you had a lot of guys come back was they know the potential of this team.
Mhm.
And the schedule this year favors them a little bit. So I'm looking for some noise, kind of like that 08 year, where you can really make some noise. I don't think Florida's going to be as good as everyone's saying that they're going to be. Georgia's going to probably be your top priority. Tennessee's dead in the water. South Carolina's not coming back. Vanderbilt. And I think Stoops is going to bring down hellfire and brimstone on Missouri, and that little coach is never going to be dancing in a locker room ever again after what they do to him. I think this is going to be a crazy ride.
Is that the most important game of the season to you guys, Justin, Max, Anna? I mean, the Missouri game? Because I mean, I agree with what you're saying here, Max. Is that the most crucial game of the season, Missouri?
I want Stoops to curb stomp that dork. He's
Not Drinkowitz.
Yes.
No, Dinkiewicz.
Dinkiewicz, Drinkiewicz.
We call him
Let's-
Dinkiewicz.
Justin,
Satterfield
jump in.
Jr., whatever you want to call him.
Yeah, give me gets the hot buzz from you. Football.
My hot buzz for me is listening to
I'm
Stoops.
with you, man.
Oh, it's terrible. It's awful. But listening to Stoops talk about how he has playmakers now. Oh, look at there. Look at there.
Sorry,
Bring Kellen out too. Where's Kellen?
he's in bed. He's sleeping. Sawing some
Spring
Z's.
break. Bring him up. Spring break.
Yes.
He's got this weighted blanket that he puts on, and he puts that
Oh, I
weighted
have
blanket on. He's out. I mean, he's done. So yeah, he's in bed. I still got Weeza. She's quit being a diva. Go away. Daddy's
I love
working.
it.
Daddy's working. Round Daddy's working. So go ahead.
But the weapons, like I think we have so many offensive weapons now. I don't even know if Stoops knows, which way is up right now. I think he's so excited right now with seeing what's happening in spring ball and seeing, Wan'Dale Robinson and Josh Ali, being able to have, Josh Ali, I think athletically he's gifted. I think he's a great receiver, but he can't do it all by himself. When you can run, cover 2 and be able to have safeties over the top, and just have to worry about one person, to make plays, you can't do that. But being able to add a Wan'Dale Robinson to be able to stretch the field a little bit, I think is going to be great. And it seems like Stoops is all about it. I listened to, I read some of his transcripts, about the post spring practice, and he's raving. I don't think he knows what to do with himself.
Has he been raving, James, about the quarterbacks? I haven't.
Look,
caught that.
Here's the thing. He has been a little bit. He's been very guarded in what he's been saying. But like from what I'm understanding, what I'm hearing, Joey Gatewood is like separating himself, and
Really?
that's kind of it's been. He and Bo Allen obviously have been getting the bulk of the snaps,
Right.
but they're doing something different. They're going to huddle instead of no huddle. They're doing some stuff under center, which they haven't done since I can remember. I don't remember the last time they did anything under center. And Joey Gatewood's playing very, very well, and I love hearing that. I mean that's a guy that you can use to promote your program. 5-star, top 50 type talent, transfer from Auburn. You get that guy going, and he performs at a high level. You can sell that to other recruits. Like, hey, look, it didn't work out for him at Auburn, which is a cream of the crop type of program in college football. He's working out in Kentucky. Come on over. Like, I don't care who the quarterback is personally, but I like, there's a little part of me that's rooting for Joey Gatewood just for that factor, because you can definitely use that with other recruits, because he was a big deal when he's coming out of high school. He was a very big deal.
Jump in, guys. Anna, what say you?
I just thought it was funny because they were asking Joey Gatewood. They were like, "What's it like? Is it hard, like being under center again?" And he was just like,
Mhm.
"No." It was funny. It was good. But no, I'm with you. And we kind of talked about that today on the show a little bit. This is the first time since 2018 that we don't know who the starter is going to be, and it's such an interesting time, not only competing for that spot, but putting in an entirely new offense. So a lot going on with them, but it's going to be exciting to see. It's just an exciting offseason in general.
James,
I agree, and that's
go ahead, Jeff.
That's been one of the big things is we seem like we have athletes, we have places in good spots, but we don't have the person. Yes, in depth, correct.
Yeah.
And now we have depth. We have athletes on the edge, that can make things happen. Playmakers. Which, James, how many times have we said we need playmakers? We need playmakers. We need playmakers. Well, we got
every post game show this year.
Exactly. And with the studs that we have at running back, I mean, to be able to, but we need somebody to be able to facilitate the offense, somebody to be able to move the ball around and get the ball in the hands of your athletes, of your special players, of your playmakers. And I hope hopefully we have that.
One thing I will add, and I don't care who the quarterback is, as long as they can throw the ball, throw it downfield, be able to attack and get the secondary on their heels.
Sure.
I don't care. But, and Justin, you will back me 100% on this. When you've got a coach that comes in and he takes one look in a room and automatically grabs a transfer, what's the thought?
I need people. I need somebody. I don't like the room.
Exactly.
Yes.
And exactly. And when you have your offensive coordinator, the guy that's supposed to revitalize a dead offense and bring this electricity and excitement to it, and he walks into a room and looks at the quarterbacks he has, and instantly within a week goes and grabs someone from the Big Ten, a starter from the Big Ten, to bring them in, that instantly tells you that there's not a right fit for what he's wanting to do for his offense.
Or
and that's the part.
Go ahead, Max. I'm sorry.
No,
go ahead.
No.
So I was gonna say, or like him, or Liam Cohen, because like he brought Will Levis in before he actually got to see Bo Allen and Joey Gatewood in person, like on the field. Maybe he saw something in film and he was kind of like, ugh. But maybe they weren't getting the coaching or the scheme that fit them. That would be like the positive spin. I understand what you're saying, Max, and I agree with you to an extent.
Exactly.
Yeah. But that would be like the positive spin on that.
Again, the real competition is going to happen in the summer because these guys, and I think you're going to have fair footing at that point because you're going to, Bo and Joey are going to have a full spring with Liam. And basically, then it's going to be an equal playing field going into the summer. And again, I don't care who it is. I think there's big factors either way of either guy you bring. Penn State guy, you're going to be able to do a story about him. I love the idea of Joey, a 5-star, being able to go from Auburn. You could still succeed and be a champion at Kentucky. Bo Allen, be a hero in your hometown, as Neil Brown always says. So either way, I am excited regardless because Liam's doing what Coach Stoops has never been able to do yet at UK, which has been develop a playmaker at quarterback. He's developed a playmaker at receiver, playmaker at running back, playmakers on the offensive line,
defense.
playmakers all over defenses. This is the one position that he has not been able to do. And as a lineman, I always say, lineman's the most important position. But if you don't have a playmaker and a guy, just a dude that's at that quarterback position that's able to get stuff done, you're basically out of luck at that point. So it's going to be
most
very
important position. It is the most narcissistic
guys.
statement I've ever heard on this show.
He's right. As a former offensive lineman myself,
it's not
the level of Justin and Max. I was only NAIA. I wasn't NCAA Division I, but I agree. As a former offensive lineman, it's the most important position on the field. We're the thinkers.
The thinkers. All right,
we are.
He's brought up a good comment real quick. Jared would go under center a lot under Guy Morris. Good guy. I forgot about that. Yeah, but he's right. Before Anna needs the jet, and then actually it's where I know you're. I got to get your take real quick on the whole Indiana basketball thing.
Ooh,
They haven't been relative. I mean, they're still they're still throwing the Watford shot at us. I mean, my God,
Is it bad that I almost feel bad for IU fans? Like, that must be embarrassing to have a program of that pedigree, and it's like nobody wants to come coach. Chris Holtz.
How many
And
people did
what-
we see real quick that, IU fans, I'll speak, I know some friends, IU friends who, Cubans opening up the checkbook. We're getting
Right.
Brad Stevens, blah, blah, blah.
I don't know.
It's
It's
an
gonna be-
NBA guy, just not the one they wanted.
not Brad Stevens, right? I saw this hilarious. It was like, I think it would be hilarious if Brad Stevens took the Minnesota job instead of Indiana.
Look,
But I don't know. They're a mess, and am I the only one who's shocked at how poorly Archie Miller did there? I don't know. I thought he'd be okay. They were awful. I don't know. And then of course now look at Kelvin Sampson going to a Final Four. It reminds me of Rick Barnes leaving Texas when they got Shaka Smart who can't do anything. It was like IU was giving up these people who were too good. They were okay there, but shooting for the moon, and they got nothing. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't even have a prediction on.
I don't either.
What's his name?
I'm probably in the minority here, but I like Mike Woodson. He has an A+ elite level goatee.
Daggone it, you took my damn takes.
Did I? I apologize,
what would
Justin.
you call Matt?
See, I'm one that likes my
Matt?
facial hair good.
And
His facial hair is on point all time.
What
Yes,
level
it is.
is
It's all
Max's,
shaped up.
James?
It's looking good.
What's
But
the
Mike
level of
Woodson, he look, man, this guy, he's got a great goatee. He's always dressed to the nines. He took the Hawks and the Knicks to the playoffs. The Hawks.
And didn't have anything bad to say about James Dolan, so it's like, okay, this guy gets along with everybody.
Exactly. I like him. I like Mike Woodson. I think it's a good hire. It's definitely a step up from Archie Bleepin Miller. I'm fine with it. I like
his cousin. Is that common knowledge? We all knew that.
Wait a minute,
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
No, just, repeat Anna because I don't think Kevin heard you.
I didn't hear it. What'd you say?
Oh, Kevin, Archie Miller's Calipari's cousin? Did we all know that? I forget. Who knows what?
No, I didn't know that. Really?
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
they are.
So,
Really?
so Sean Miller's related to Calipari as well?
Their mothers are cousins or sisters or something. They're all from Moon Township, Pennsylvania. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
I got to learn something today. I learned something today. That's what I come
Moon
here. That's
Township,
what I'm
Pennsylvania
is more learning.
runs deep.
Yeah, even family
So what
didn't
you're
get
saying
that
is
series
basketball does not
started
run
up
in the
again.
family.
Oh, this dog. She just wants to sit in my lap. It's sorry.
Okay, guys, I'm bouncing.
Mike
We got it,
Woodson's
yeah.
gonna be see ya.
Let's give her Anna. Good
Bye,
to
Anna.
hang with you. We'll do it again. Good luck on your
Good
job.
night.
Good to see everybody.
All right, take care.
Bye.
All right, some Anna time
Mike
there.
Woodson
All right, guys.
is going to be dressed in the nines and have that rock and goatee all the way when they buy him out for being a awful coach at IU, just like all the other ones.
You might be right,
He
but
hasn't recruited. Which
Bro,
is he gonna?
bro,
What
but
is he
dude,
coming in with the Bob Knight college mentality or what? What's going on here with?
he's
with
just
you?
he's saying that to appease the old IU fans. You got Jebediah been cheering for IU since 1962. He's got to appease Jebediah and say, "Oh yeah, I remember the Bob Knight days." And then they're, Mike Woodson. I like Mike Woodson. He might stink, but as of right now, I think he's going to do a very good job. That's just me.
Well,
I don't
I think he's
You know
unknown.
who
I don't think
lost
he's
out
sick.
of all this.
Go ahead. Mike.
You know who lost out of all this?
Who's that?
It's the booster that came in with that big swagger energy of saying,
Yeah.
I'm going to buy out Archie Miller and be a savior to IU. 1 mil, 2 mil, 3 mil, 4 mil, 5 mil, $10 million. Get him out of here. Get someone great. Now we're going to hire Mike Woodson. It's like, wait.
That's a good point. That's a good
What
point.
was on that
All
undefeated
over again.
championship team, right, James?
I think he's a freshman in for the 76
Oh, he was
undefeated.
I guess, technically.
He was on the team.
Yeah,
man.
he was on the
team.
team.
I don't know how much he played, but he's on the team.
Okay.
Go with your
Doesn't
brothers.
mean you know how to coach, though.
Yeah, no, I agree. Max, I agree with you. But he's won at some pretty crappy basketball franchises.
But those are still pros, though, James.
They're pros.
Semantics.
No. Well, we're going to find out. Definitely.
Well, college is easier than the pros. I mean, the pros. I mean, the pros is
Tell that to Lovie Smith.
Well, good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
No, but I disagree there because there's a lot more players on the football team than there is a basketball team. You get one great basketball player that can override the whole team.
Look at Cal.
Or one great offensive lineman,
No, that doesn't do that. That doesn't
smart,
do shit.
You get a Justin Jeffries on your
intelligent
team.
people on the team,
And you're elevated to the next level. You get Justin Jeffries at the left tackle.
Who looks high right now because my eyes are so red because of my damn pollen.
Oh, I mean, it's bad. I mean, I'm with you. I literally
overplaying this.
What? Is there a time delay? I feel like we're either trying to talk over each other.
I don't know what's going on. I'm just saying, hey, Justin, all I'm saying is if you got a smoking room and you know what you do before and after this podcast is no one else's business.
I wish.
I believe.
And I wish. I wish they piss tested my work. So I like my job a little bit. So I better.
Is that how you get down the tailgate? Because I'm all for it. Let's go.
Yes, Streeble.
Yeah. So, and the other thing too, Woodson, real quick. He's 60 some years old.
65.
He's 63. But look, here's the deal. I know he's old, but they all wanted Jim Beeline. He's older than Mike Woodson. He's 68. I mean, that's like IU fans wanted Jim Beeline, who went to the NBA and cratered.
What was IU's what was their fan base's top order? Woodson wasn't in their top 5, right? That's safe to say.
I would say number 1 is Brad Stevens, obviously.
Really, yeah.
And then I think number 2 is Chris Beard, which I think he's overrated. Get him out of here. Number 3 was Chris Holtman, the dude at Ohio State. I think number 4 would have been like a Mike Woodson, and then number 5 would have been Calbert Chaney.
Who the hell's Calbert Chaney?
Not Rick Pitino?
No.
Where's Ricky P at?
Ricky P's in Iona living the life. He's a ball. I don't know if did you hear his press conference after he lost?
Yes, it was beautiful.
Yeah. He said, "All I need is a ball, a boy, and a dream." That's amazing. I mean, Pitino, the most egotistical human being on planet Earth. On planet Earth, it's not about me. It's about a ball, a boy, and a dream. Get the hell out of here, Rick Pitino. But
Hey.
He's beautiful.
Oh. So I honestly had this moment during March where we just celebrated Palm Sunday. We're in Holy Week right now, where I was truly having this level of forgiveness of being like, you know what, I'm one because Iona was going to be my team. I was like, you know what, I'm going to root for him because this is a guy that finally, after so many opportunities of just saying, you know what, I knew it was my fault. I deserve to be fired, and constantly did not. But finally, at March Madness, taking a team that was so hard to get into the tournament, finally getting them in and saying, you know what, I should have been fired. It's all on me. And I'm like, you know what, I can respect that. And you know what, I think as a fan base, we need to have a level of forgiveness. And so that was my mentality with him. And then I was like, you know what, I think basketball needs him at a power level. I'll entertain this idea of him going to Indiana. I think it would be great. And then I want UK to play Indiana. And I think that would be fun.
That would be beautiful.
And then, you know, they get kicked out of the tournament. And I'm like, you know what? You know, Rick Pitino wants to finish out his days at a small Catholic school and just get back to the fundamentals of the game. And then I don't know what happened. He started drinking a little bit too much today, a little bit too much day drinking. And then he's talking about how Tom Jerks needs a job. And I'm like, whoa. Time out. Time out.
That microphone, that's Justin, Mike. So I'm muting him now. Stop making these. Look at his whiny expression. He's muted. He looks like a kid that I just said, "Will you go to your room?"
I agree with you, Max. I want to love Rick Pitino. I want him back. I want him in Lexington. I want him to go into the middle of the court and wave at the crowd, because you know what I think will happen? I think he'll get a standing ovation. I think Rick Pitino goes back to Rupp. He gets a standing ovation.
In 2 years, it's going to happen.
And he'll think to himself,
I'll clap. I will clap.
Maybe I can come back here. I mean, Calipari just
And then
hands him the keys to the kingdom, flips it. Rick, I'm out. Boom.
Well, this explains it, I guess.
Ed, kick rock.
Yeah, now we know.
You leave Justin Jeffries alone.
Leave
I
your
never
gaming.
use a headset
Gaming
ever.
Ed wants to know too. Though Ed, I love you, but you spelled Calipari wrong. It was a great take.
No, Calipari's not going to Texas. No.
Yeah, what?
I think
that. What the hell? How did that all come about, James?
It's just anytime a big time job opens up, Calipari's going to be thrown in the mix.
At a football school?
At a football, any school, any. Go ahead, Max.
No, Texas isn't a big basketball school.
No, they're not. You're right.
No.
They're not a big basketball school. That's the point I kept making last week when this rumor came out. I'm like, they paid Rick Barnes $2.25 million a year. They paid Shaka Smart $3.2 million a year. Cal makes $9.4 million per year. Plus, he's a contract where he can't get fired. Like, they cannot fire him. They can't. If they fire him, they owe him $48 million. You're not going to get a contract that good, not even at Texas, where I wish we all had jobs. All four of us guys here had jobs where we just can't get fired. He's not going to get a deal that good. No matter what, no matter where he goes, he'll never get a deal. It's not about the money. It's about everything on the peripheral of the money. It's about the details in the contract. Mm-hmm. He can walk away and owe nothing. But if they fire him, he gets $50 million. I rounded up from $48 million. That's the difference. It didn't matter how much they can pay him. What's the wording in the contract? They're not going to offer him a contract. That contract is stupid. And I'm not afraid to admit it. Mitch Barnhart, that's a stupid contract. I'm glad that we have Calipari. That contract is ignorant. That's it.
And then also, you get paid $9.3 million. In order to get fired, you get $50 million. And all you have to do is do subpar results and just be like, next year, the team's young. Wait until I recruit some new guys. And that's your
$1 million a victory this year,
7 years.
Max? $1 million a victory, right?
Yeah.
I think, it was $1.8 million of victory. Georgia had a great.
I wish I had that. I wish I had that ratio.
$225,000 for each victory. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Let me get $1.8 million for every machine that I sell. I'm cool.
Hey,
I'd pay you.
You
that.
do have that
I
Xbox
honestly,
headset, though.
And I'm
headset. God damn it.
And I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys also not spreading the rumors about me also, because there was a lot of rumors. I was entertaining the idea of going to Indiana because I did drive up there. I said, hey, listen, you're gonna fire the next guy that comes up here. You're gonna offer $2 million. I'm right now gonna undercut everyone and do it for $900,000. I will.
Is that why you grew your goatee like that?
I'll throw exactly 100% it. I went and I interviewed 20 people from Indiana, and every single one of them said they trust a guy with a goatee, and that was about it. You know what's the best thing that ever came out of Indiana? I-65 South.
Hey, I live in Indiana. It's not that bad. I'm like on the right on the edge.
All my in-laws and relatives, and my wife's relatives live over there, and I tell them exactly how I feel.
I can gamble from my phone from here, Max, and there's no repercussions.
me switch.
That's what Bovada's
You
for.
gotta do something to fill that void of living in that desolate wasteland of Indiana you live in.
We're rounding third, heading for home.
Congratulations, you won a
We're at the top of the hour. Let me shift gears real quick. I'll start with you, Max. Howard Schnellenberger. Your quick take on Howard, Coach Schnellenberger.
The dude's the Coach Schnellenberger's a legend. I mean, without Schnellenberger, there is no Miami football. Without Schnellenberger, there really isn't Louisville football. The man was a giant. He is the greatest product that the Commonwealth of Kentucky has ever produced when it comes to football. Because the dude saved 2 programs. He was a star player at one, a star coach at the other, and developed the mentality of winning the state of Miami, as he referred it. And having a guy that was willing, and I would make the argument, one of the first coaches to really step in and kind of that multicultural background as a white guy walking into these places that coaches wouldn't go to, and going and winning these players over, winning their families over, and really kind of mending a bridge there. We talk about a lot of coaches that have been great for racial reconciliation, and I know guys that play for Schnellenberger when they were at Louisville, and he was a guy that was an innovator. He was a father figure for so many guys, and allowed them to be themselves as well. I mean, the things that he did for the game, unreal, amazing. I mean, we got the crazy years of Miami University because of this guy. But what he did for his players as people and as men and developed them is second to none. And it doesn't get talked about enough. And then what an ambassador of the game he was, not just for all of college football, but just within our state as well. Being a part of the Pro Football Hall of Fame run by Dr. Steve Parker, being a part of the rivalry games where he's a contributor for both. I mean, the man has done so much for the game. And I mean, the man is honestly a legend and will be for hundreds of years to come.
What say you, Justin?
No, I agree 100%. I didn't know a whole lot about, Coach Schnellenberger. I knew his name growing up, but I didn't know like the intricacies and how deep the roots really ran, with Coach Schnellenberger and in college football as a whole. I knew he was a coach at U of L. I knew he was a coach at Miami, but to go back, and as you get older, you go back and you think about and you kind of deep dive a little bit, and you really understand, especially being a player. And after you get out, you get old and you get grumpy, and then you sit in your rocking chair with your Xbox headphones and you read and you start deep diving into some stuff. So once all that's happened, I read up a little bit more, and like Max said, the things that he did, not just for college football, but for young men all over the country, for our state, just in general in our state, with what he did at U of L and the player he was at UK was just ignorant. And correct me if I'm wrong, but he's not in the College Football Hall of Fame. Is that right?
He is not. No.
Yes, and I think that's a travesty. That's a travesty.
Yeah,
I think that's a travesty because why can't you put him in the College Football Hall of Fame when he's alive? It's like rappers or whatever, when they die, everything, then they get sent up to they get all these accolades. But now I think that's a travesty. Just with a little bit of education that I've educated myself with, I think that's terrible.
And I want to say that
and
Sweeney said it. I'm not 100%. I think Sweeney said, I saw it on Twitter, but apparently Schnellenberger was up for the College Football Hall of Fame last year and did not get in. I saw something about it because local media started going irate about it, saying they had the opportunity to do the right thing and they didn't do it.
And they didn't do it. No.
It was the College Football Hall of Fame has this rule, which is stupid, that if you don't have a 600 record or more, like 60% winning percentage or more, you can't be in. I'm like, He took over how many dead programs and resurrected them. Like he took over Miami, they were terrible. He made them a national championship program. He took over U of L, they were terrible. He made them a legit BCS Bowl champion program because they beat Florida in the BCS, the Sugar Bowl. And he took over Florida Atlantic, which was nothing, and made them a legit program that's a very competitive program. That you had to factor that in. Like he took over dead programs. He didn't take over Penn State or Alabama or LSU. He took over programs that were dead in the water and resurrected them and made them something out of nothing. So that's a travesty that he's not in the College Football Hall of Fame. It's a travesty.
Was it Oklahoma?
Oh, he went to Oklahoma after Miami, and it didn't work out.
No, I thought after Louisville, right?
I thought it was after. I think he went to Miami to Louisville to Oklahoma. Or sorry, Miami to Oklahoma to Louisville, and then to Florida Atlantic, from what I remember.
Okay. All right.
I could be wrong, but that's what I remember.
Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Fun hour, James. Let's
What's good?
We miss these guys. We can always do a whole show with them. Final shot for the night. Max, I'll let you go. Start a non-Star Wars shot.
Well, it is a non-Star Wars shot because I got myself in a little bit of predicament that I signed up for. And so, and this is a formal invite for you all. You should do a live stream at this. So I get approached by my cousin, who's a prominent name in politics around the state of Kentucky, but he does a lot of charity stuff. And he stopped me and goes, "Hey, do you want to do a charity event with me?" I said, "Sure. What is it?" And he goes, "All right, hear me out. 1880s baseball." I was like, in what regard? Like, like a museum, an exhibit? Like, he goes, "Oh no, you play in it." I was like, "What do you mean play in it?" He goes, "I'm going to dress you up in a wool outfit, and you're going to have an old 1880s name, and you're going to go play in the heat, 100-degree heat, for people to watch and laugh at you and raise money."
Whoa.
The theme is 1880s. Is that what I heard? 1880s.
It is a group. Yeah, it's a league. So it's a league. So there's 9 teams. I think 9 teams that we play against the whole year. Mm-hmm. And there's a group in Georgetown that a team has started. It's called the Georgetown Gentlemen. And you've got to have your name, but you've got to have a nickname also. So mine is now Max Bull Moose Godby. And I'm growing the goatee out so I can grow out the
look at it.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome.
80s. I have to follow a vocab the whole time as well. So I can't break character one time, which is really hard for me when I'm playing a sport. So I hope old Bull Moose doesn't pick up any new any new words or any new dance moves that aren't outside of the Charleston.
Dance move. James,
awesome.
James, part of which round of shots, we kind of go on hiatus because we're kind of a football, basketball conversation show. So now, James, we have found something to.
There you go. You got Bull Moose.
And under the cover, we got the old Bull Moose.
Bull Moose.
Bull Moose.
Hey, I think there's something. If you dress up as an audience, I think you get either something for free, the admission's free for it, or whatever it is. Like, it's a charity event to raise for museums.
What's
and stuff.
the date of this?
But I think if you show up dressed up, I have no idea. Like, I know nothing. They just took my measurements for my wool uniform. Like, are you serious? Like, it's got to be wool. Terrible. Like, I had to take my good pair of Nike cleats from football, and they're like, "We can't wear those." And I was like, BS. That's a little I am definitely going to be wearing actual cleats. And so I had to take my blue and black cleats, and I had to completely take a Sharpie to them and Sharpie them out.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Wow.
So I had to do it, like, if you're in the audience, do you have to brush up on your 1880s vernacular?
I don't even know where to
if
start.
you want to stay in character, I guess.
Like, hey, that Bull Moose hit a crackerjack shot out there. Bull Moose out there. Yeah, way to go there, Bull Moose. Yeah. You got to talk like that.
The umpire wears the top hat. So, like, anything goes at this point.
Well,
Hey,
we
hey,
got
Max.
on top of this.
Hey, Max, if you-
We got to follow this. We got to video it. We've got to promote it. Everything.
So Max, if you're Bull Moose, who's Moose Knuckle?
Hey, just end the show. It's over. Just end it.
Give me a take real quick, Justin. Final thought.
You're staring at it. I can't see right now. Allergy. I hate allergy season.
Oh.
I can't stand it. It's ignorant. I look like I'm high all the time, and it drives me absolutely nuts. So that's my last shot.
Yeah, my thing is my allergy is so bad too. I can literally watch. I'm being facetious here, but basically, I can see someone mowing the grass and I'll start sneezing.
Oh, it's
That's how
terrible.
bad.
And I work outside, which doesn't make it any better. So
Right.
Yeah, it's terrible. So that's my
James,
last shot.
Final shot for the night, brother. Go.
It'll be real quick. But my final shot of the night is I've been arguing with Louisville fans on Twitter, which is not unusual for me, but I've kind of been nice here lately. But their entire false reality that they made the tournament and made some like magical Final Four run has really pissed me off and gotten on my last nerve. Like, look, if you want to make fun of Kentucky basketball, that's fine, but realize that you ended up in the exact same position as Kentucky basketball. You played the exact same amount of tournament games. One, your record in tournament games was the exact same, 0-1. Shut up. You're not superior. You're not better. There's no universe in which Louisville basketball is better than Kentucky basketball. Shut the up.
Wow.
I'm tired of it. I'm sorry. They're like, oh, you won 9 games. Yeah, we won 9 games, and you were in the exact same spot. You were right here next to me on the couch watching basketball. You didn't participate. You didn't participate in the tournament. Shut up. And we're gonna whoop that ass in football too. I can't wait till Chris Rodriguez runs all over your ass.
Let's go. Let's
Is
go,
that how would you have said that? How would you just
sucks.
How would you final? This is it, James. Address in 15 seconds. Address the U of L fan base using 1880s vernacular.
Oh shit!
God, I wish I could. You all are. Hold on, wait. I'll try my best. Here we go. You all think you're something, do you? You're nothing but a bunch of bums, is all you are. That's all you are. You're not worth a plum nickel. That's all. You're not worth it. You're not worth a wooden nickel. That's what you are. You couldn't buy a soda pop with your sense. That's all there is to it. See?
That's a soundbite, brother.
That's beautiful. A plum. What is a plum nickel?
Plum nickel.
I don't know, man.
Save that explanation for another show. Max, Justin, Anna, first segment. My man James. Oh, this was fun. We got to do it again. Do it again.
Sorry
soon.
Sorry about my shitty.
No, we're fine.
I'll see you on Fortnite later.
Yeah,
Fork knife.
Fortnite, Fort you. All right, guys. Love you. Peace out. Good night. All that good stuff.
See you guys.
Later.
See you guys.